Thank you, everybody. Welcome aboard the Tommy Williams Show for another interesting and involved episode. This evening, I have the wonderful and illustrious cousin of my wife. Her name goes by Tammie Green. And also, I have DeShon coming on. And DeShon's going to be talking to us. DeShon Allen, I'm sorry, DeShon Allen. And DeShon Allen is actually he's involved with sports. And I'll let you know how when we get involved. So here we go without further ado. And I know Tammie's going to say, don't forget the last name of the last name, but she'll tell it. She'll talk. She's a talker. They're both talkers and both very much engaging. So everybody, let's just sit back and enjoy the Tommy Williams Show, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me to go first or do you want?
Please, you. Ladies first.
So I'll go ahead. Don't worry, but I'll be the tour guide on this whole situation. So we have Tammie Green. Tammie is right here amongst us, and Tammie has her wine glass because she is a wine distributor and marketer. And do you distribute? No. So marketing is different. So please, first of all, no problem. This is a real show, so go ahead, man. Tell them stop with the noise. So Tammie, go ahead and tell us the differentiation between marketer and distributor, first of all, with wine.
Well, I just market the wine. I just market the wine that the winemakers make. So it is one wine. It's Napa Valley wine. And one of the things that I do is I market their wine that they have manufactured. And so I don't distribute it. I'm not like shipping anything out. It actually comes directly from One Hope Wine. So when you want to purchase the wine, you in turn order the wine, and then One Hope distributes that wine to the individual.
Okay, fantastic.
So it's not my company.
I get it.
But the great thing about it, Tommy, DeShon,
Yes.
Quiet your dog down.
No, they're quiet now.
Like, what kind of dogs do you have? They're aggressive.
They're Dachshunds.
Oh wow,
I'm giving them a side eye. Okay.
So anyway, that's funny because
I just want to get into the meat and potatoes about this pandemic because everybody seems so happy and the energy is great. And speaking of energy, I know, DeShon, you needed to have a lot of energy on the field when it comes down to the cheering, and not just the cheering, but also the coaching. So you're pretty deep. Now, I know that I played sports in the past. I played lots of different sports, and I know that there's nothing like support from, first of all, the spectators, and secondly, the home team, the home base, like Virginia State. My cousin, my wife's cousin and I had gone to college together. We went to Virginia State University, VSU, and what is it? Trojans, the cheerleaders.
Yes.
the
woo-woos. The woo-woos were the cheerleaders at Virginia State. Who could forget? And I can, I guess. It's been so long, but so the Woo-Woos, they were fantastic and they were a great team and also offered so much inspiration and so much motivation towards the team when out there on the field. And why don't you tell us something about what you do, man, without me going ahead and spilling.
Well, long story short, I am the director of a semi-pro football team. It's called Palm Beach Mako. It's a semi-pro football team, and I'm the director of the cheerleaders. And how I got involved with cheerleading is I grew up in Texas. I'm from Texas, and in Texas, cheerleading is a big organization. It's a big thing. And so when I went to college, it paid my way through college. And I after I graduated from college, I worked for a company called the National Cheerleader Association. And that became my job for a few years. And then I got out of it. And when I moved to Florida, this opportunity came up to work for the semi-pro football team. And that's where it is. And so it's, I kind of owe something back to cheerleading because it paid for my way through school. So I just enjoy what I do, and that's what I do.
That's beautiful. And you, so how long did you cheer?
I cheered for 4 years.
Wow, that's super. So now, but I know about cheerleading because I watch. I'm a spectator. I'm a true spectator. Yes. So I know about the basket toss and all that. There's different things, and the going up in the pyramids. Did you do the pyramids?
I did all of that. Yeah, I had a partner that I was 160. My partner was 98 pounds, so it was like easy to toss her in there and jump in. But what I do now is I train girls to be NFL cheerleaders.
Oh wow! Okay.
And that's a whole different. It's not really cheerleading; it's more dance and the look. And I train them how to audition to be an NFL cheerleader.
Huh. It's all about
and that's
that.
How I know you're. How I know your wife.
Yeah. Tommy.
Yes.
Look at Maxwell. Maxwell's bringing come get it. This is Wendy Williams' brother. That's Tommy. That's what Maxwell bringing. I thought I'd bring some little spice.
Well, when you're talking about the pandemic, like if I just start coughing, I'm scared somebody thinks I have COVID now.
Oh God.
Listen, that's like the major faux pas right now, you know, with the coughing, you know, and the attention getter. So let's talk. I know that I wanted to get some base for, you know, what you do, Tammie. You know, we've had a discussion on my YouTube channel, and we went in a little bit deep with the wine, and you had everything all out and things. But you know what, with regard to your professions and stuff, how have things changed, or what did things look like as you were entering this pandemic and then moving through the crux of it all? And now that we're still in it. I mean, you know, are we in the eye? I have no idea. I don't think anybody does. I think that right now we're just trying to navigate and tread ourselves along the wall and hold on tight to hope. And we do have some good scientific data, and do have some time and behind us, so at least we can kind of feel a little bit better than we used to, and also with the administration.
You know, Tommy, you know what? I love that you brought that up, because what the pandemic did for me, and that's how I dived into the marketing One Hope Wine, was because during the pandemic, I had to really do self-awareness, self-discovery, looking at myself, because that's all that was there. I had to really uncover layers and what was important to me. And one of the things that was important to me was socializing and giving back to my community. One of the things that my husband Bill and I did a lot was we would go to silent auctions and different type of nonprofit organizations and just donate or participate in some of their fundraising events. So this pandemic really allowed me to do self-awareness, for one, getting back with myself and understanding myself and what was important to me. And as you know, one of the things that really happened during that year-long isolation, because that's really what it was, it allowed you to look at your family, your friends, and find out what's important to you. So I just like the fact that I was able to really, because mental health was really prevalent during this time. Mental wellness, spirituality, emotional discovery, and development. So it was just overall just a good thing. But with the One Hope line, the good thing is that I found something that I was able to do, because what I would do, Tommy, during that pandemic, I would do virtual wine tastings with my friends. And I would let them. So what we would do, I would let them know about the wines. I would talk to my girlfriends. I knew my friends. I was like, you like reds, you like whites, and they would order wine. And I would just basically talk to them about the varietals of wine, what it pairs well with. You know, when you have some of my friends like Moscato, which is we do have a wine that's a Muscat, which is from the Muscat. The Moscato is from the Muscat grape. So we were talking about that and what pairs well. And let me tell you, when you do a Moscato, if you can tolerate spicy food, DeShon, you got to put your phone on mute when you doing like coffee.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Lord. Yeah, you got. But how are you? Are you okay? Are you okay though?
Yeah, I'm fine.
But yeah, you just got to put yourself on mute when you.
I'm sorry.
But overall, it was really great. So that's really the main thing, is that I just really wanted to focus on bringing awareness, bringing people together over a good glass of wine, because we're at home and we can do anything. So I was like, look, I know you like wine, just order the wine. What do you like, reds? And I would recommend, and then I would designate a day and say, for instance, Friday, and we would do, I was like, okay, you ordered 6 bottles. Let's kind of go through them. You can open up the one and drink that one if that's your preference. But I went through the varietals. I'm like, what did you order? And they would tell me, and they're like, Chardonnay. And I'm like, okay, since you don't want to open a Chardonnay, it's one of the Napa Valley award-winning wines, which I love. I love our Chardonnay. So I talked about that and kind of just shared what were some of the key things about it. And then I would have a friend, but see, the great thing about that, DeShon, was that all my friends are like different wine drinkers. So I would be like, well, and one of my friends her name is Raquel. I'd be like, Raquel, what did you like about the red? And she would tell me, and then I would kind of explain that varietal and what it paired well with. And it was just a nice way to engage, have cocktails, and engage with your friends during this pandemic. And we were isolated.
I have a funny question to ask you. I don't know, but what is compared to a very cheap bottle of wine to an expensive bottle of wine?
Well, for one, it's a headache.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Yeah, I want to know, how is that? Is it acidity, or is it, what makes you get a headache from wine?
I don't know. It's the sulfites. And usually people, in sulfites, it can be pretty much in anything. So it can be processed foods, some processed foods have it, but that's usually what gives people the headache, is the sulfite. But it's no such, to me, you can get a very inexpensive bottle of wine and it's a great wine. Price doesn't make the wine great by any means. So, so that's one. And that's so broad. I can't even say every less expensive. I don't like to say cheap, but inexpensive wine doesn't mean that it's not good. I can get a bottle of wine for $10. That doesn't mean it's not good. But with One Hope Wine and the wine that I market, that wine is about $20 per bottle. But the good thing about it is that 10%, if you buy 4 bottles, you get a 5% discount for wine, and you get a discount on shipping. And you get wine at your door. And I like that, because when you have guests over to your home, or now since we're out of COVID, if you have guests to your home, or if you want to gift a bottle, send a bottle to someone, you would like to send a nice bottle. And it's the uniqueness of One Hope Wine is perfect, because it's not like a wine that you buy from the grocery store and it's just like the label. You're getting a very exclusive wine. The great thing too about it is that 10% goes to a charitable fund. So when you buy One Hope Wine, it goes, each bottle goes to a designated organization. May it be Feed the Hungry, Mental Awareness, and then each bottle is designated to a fund. But then also, if we have events and things like that, 10% goes to your charity of choice. So whatever I sell goes to a charity of my selection. So my choice, I donate all my proceeds or 10% of my proceeds to the American Lupus Foundation.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of with you on the pandemic. It was like a time of self-reflection, and you got to the sad and true part about it. You really got to know who's got your back, and you see some people that you really thought were your friends and family that you haven't heard. I still haven't heard from some of them. So, where is Tammie?
I have no clue. But look, I don't even know if we're recording anything.
Well, I there's something I thought he was going to talk about was like during the whole when it first started, every Black Lives Matter and everything was happening, and now there is like I don't even hear anything, and now we're not going to have the right to vote, and nobody's talking about it, and they're taking voter suppression, not the right to vote, but they're taking the voter suppression down. They're making laws in Texas and in Florida and all these other states to suppress the votes, especially of Black and minority people.
I haven't heard about that. I didn't hear that one.
Oh,
but
yeah?
you know what? You know what COVID did? It allowed us to. That's one of the things that I loved about COVID was that it really brought, because you were isolated, all we had was social media. We had to like be attached to social media, and the racism was uncovered.
100%.
Uncovered. When that lady was in the park and the poor guy was bird watching, I was like, who's just bird watching? And the woman she knew the thing, everything that could happen to him when she made that statement. So she was really deliberate in her actions. And when I saw that, and then the George Floyd, and all of these things kind of happened at the same time, I really think God bought that. He had us isolated so we could see that happening, because it had to be uncovered. The sad thing though is that some people, when it first started, everybody was like outraged.
Yeah,
I don't want people to use the fire for that.
And that's what I was saying earlier. This fire, it's lost. I mean, because I was just telling you, the Voter Suppression Act is being passed in all these different states, and no one's talking about it. There was a whole convention that we had at the Hard Rock Stadium for it was called I Am3 Millennials, and they were talking about Bitcoins, and how it was a convention about millennials, and it was a lot of people of color and minorities, and not one time did I say anything about voting, Black Lives Matter, and it was just all about raising money. There was like 13,000 kids there, and it's an episode where the baby had the gunfight in Miami last week. And where are all these young kids why are they not talking about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and stuff like that right now? Anyone?
You're right.
You know, that was the main thing.
And I'll tell you,
that was the main thing I was concerned about is that the fact that things like this happen and the fire is ignited and then people run and they vote for it, but then a year comes down the line, it dies out. And so we have to have that. So one of the things that we need to know, like in Richmond, Virginia, elections are on June 8th for, the city.
Mm-hmm.
People need to understand that during this time, you need to do
Wi-Fi. Some serious folks who are watching, please bear with us as we try to gain control with the internet. Meanwhile, it does still say recording, so I'm not sure whether I'm still going or not. But I will say that we've been doing these episodes and about the pandemic and all that's been going on. A lot of people are getting vaccinated. It seems like we are coming slowly creeping out of the woods. I know in South Florida, on the beach, a buddy of mine was in town, and there was so much mayhem on Memorial Day that after 2 hours of circling around trying to find parking, not even circling around, but millimeter by movement, I cashed and then came home. So things are definitely opening up. We have another holiday coming up with 4th of July, and hopefully people remain safe. I know I had my mask strapped on, but as I looked around outside of my sealed windows and AC, I looked at a lot of people who were unmasked, and it looked a mess. And I'm still nervous for the state of the world right now, because right now we're dealing with the unknown.
I'm still worried about the state of Florida.
A coworker who was telling me that a neighbor had just contracted COVID.
Wow.
And so these things are still very prevalent.
Well, you're
Vic,
here
are
in
you
South
able to
Florida.
hear me?
Well, Tammie, I'll just tell you. Listen, I live in South Florida, I guess, and this is Trump country, and our governor decides just like the masks don't matter, and it's like nothing ever happened here. No masks, no social distancing. And I don't think some of these people, I actually had a friend die from the COVID. So I'm taking it still taking it very seriously. What about you?
Yeah. So I am definitely taking it seriously, but I'm in Virginia. And we had a meeting,
But were you hit hard with the COVID? There was reports
Well, you know what? When you say hit hard, to me that's a totally different word to use. I was not hit with COVID personally. Physically,
I'm talking about your whole state, like your state, not you personally. I mean your state. Like, did you have to shut down for a long time?
COVID hit the world.
Yeah.
DeShon, it hit the world. So it wasn't like a state or anything. It hit the world. I would never have thought that a pandemic could hit the world and shut the world down, where there was no airlines, no travel. Everybody was scared to leave their house. You go to the grocery store, you're constantly wiping your hands, wearing your mask. And there were some people who did not take it seriously. I have had a couple of friends who have been impacted due to family members and loved ones in death. And some people tried to do small events. I had a friend who had only 8 people for Christmas. And they all diagnosed with COVID. 2 were hospitalized and 1 died.
Wow.
So yes. So it was a scary situation. And it made you sit back and think about it really it uncovered selfish people, cautious people, paranoid people, and it really uncovered just a lot of elements and layers of people in general and who they really are. And I think that's one of the things that really impacted mental health, is because people had to really connect to their true identity. And it was scary for people to actually deal with that and deal with themselves. So I think that COVID didn't impact, it impacted the world. The key point and the key question is, how did it impact you?
Yeah.
And it impacted me is that I saw the world that I live in and saw people for who they were and I also, it allowed me to see who I was as an individual. And so it just kind of brought just a lot of things to reality. I think it was a good time. The best thing, let me tell you, DeShon, the best thing as a Christian, one of the things that I was always taught was to do meditation and quiet time. Mm-hmm. And when you do meditation and quiet time, you get to see and kind of clear your mind of what you want to do, who you are. The one thing, and I bring this back constantly, is self-awareness. And people get offended with that. Because you know why they get offended, DeShon?
No.
Because they gotta face them.
Ah, yes.
And they don't want to see themselves for who they really are. And that's I was like, you know what? There are some things that I need to look at in me. And I tried to fix those things. But overall, it just really brought that self-awareness to people and just really looking at yourself, looking at what you can do to help people, looking at what you can do to help your community, looking at what you can do just to improve you and your family.
Yeah.
So I think it really did. It really. So what I was the end thing of that is that I think God really shut that thing down for us to really see things that we needed to fix.
You're exactly right. Yes, you are.
Because if you need to fix something and you fix it, and then when you need to fix something in your community, fix it. And he said there was so much chaos going on that we didn't have time to really look at it. We're at work, we're running kids places, we're being social. We got this calendar. Like my husband and I, we were on speed 10 all the time. We were going everywhere. But when you sit back and take the time to look at you and what you need to address about you to make your life better as well as those around you, it couldn't be done because of the fact that we were so busy. God said, I'm gonna shut you down.
Yes, he did. Yes.
I'm gonna shut you down and let you see what you need to see about you, about the people around you, to love. We were doing Zoom calls with family members that I ain't talked to in years. We're like, oh, we're gonna do a Zoom call and we're gonna talk. And I saw one of my cousins that I haven't seen like 3 years. We did like a Thanksgiving Zoom call. My cousin Shannon, I hadn't seen her in like 2-3 years, maybe longer than that. It may have been the last time I saw her physically was at her wedding. Wow. And it was crazy how it allowed you to really connect with your family.
Oops. Where did Tammie go?
Well, I don't know, but you know, one of the things too, DeShon, is this is all about self-development and self-awareness.
Yes. Yeah, and it was like, I just looked at my friends, some of my friends that had never eaten at a dinner table with their family in years. And they finally got dinner tables, and I talked to some of my friends, like, they don't know how it is to be poor. I was like, I know how to make some ramen noodles last 4 days.
Those ramen noodles good.
Yes, they are. I know how to cook them. So I just hope that people will keep the values that what they learn, everything that you mentioned. I hope they continue to do this after this pandemic is over. Well, I don't think we'll fully ever be the same as we were. How do you feel?
Well, you know, one of the things that I really think about is that, we could it depends on what you get out of it.
Yes.
I chose not to be the same. And that's a choice. Your attitude, your perception, and how you view things is your choice. What do you choose to do? Do you choose to be positive? Do you choose to be helpful? Do you choose to not listen to people? Do you choose to not be an encourager? Because, you know, people are struggling. And you have to pick and choose what you want to do. And my thing is that life is so valuable. So many people don't look at, I woke up this morning. Some people didn't. And that's okay, their spirit is fine. But they left loved ones here to deal with the loss.
Yes.
Because it's really not the dead that suffer, it's the people that are left here that suffer, that you know, miss their presence. And then the other thing too is that you have to decide if you're going to be an energy giver or an energy drainer. And I choose to, during this time, I'm like, I want to give people life. Mm-hmm. Do you know why? Because it's limited. You don't know when your day is going to come. You don't know when you're going to be called to glory.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So one of the main things I really love about wine is that it brings people together. And how many times do you go to a function? I'm from the South. And one of the things that we do is that we have a cocktail. My uncle, John Henry, used to have corn liquor. I remember this. Never had the corn liquor, of course, because I was too young for it. But he would bring the corn liquor, and our family would talk and laugh in Franklin, Virginia. And it was such a great thing. We loved it. And I really feel that, you know, just having some spirits and bringing family together and friends together over a nice glass of wine or whatever your cocktail may be, it really kind of brings people together, and I love it. So that's the reason why I decided to market One Hope Wine, because when I saw the company and their structure and what they do, and what they basically, what One Hope does, it's Napa Valley wine, and it's award-winning wine. And a couple of the bottles have won awards. The rosé is one of the wines that I love, especially this time of year. It won the San Francisco Wine Festival, which is huge. It's never done. I love it. It's beautiful. It has some peach aromas, and it's just a very nice compliment. One of the things is you can do, if family can't get together, you can do virtual and have a glass of wine and have your family and friends order it. The bottles usually range from $20, and you get half off. If you order 4 bottles, you get a discount or half off of shipping for the wine. And then you can just have the wine, enjoy, discuss, and talk with your family members. But that's one of the reasons why I joined One Hope, is because during COVID, we were isolated. I didn't have that opportunity, nor did any of us have that opportunity to really kind of get with our friends and really talk about wine. And not only wine, but what's going on in your family. So, and just mentally what's going on with you. It was just a nice introduction to me to talk to family members and say, hey, let's do a call. Let's talk about wine, and I'm marketing it. So It's 10%, but the good thing about One Hope, 10% goes to a charitable fund. If you want to drink wine and you want wine that is high standard, quality, nice varietals, and nice on the palate, One Hope, because they've won awards. And then also give to a charitable fund. Some of the funds go to educate children, provide hunger, to help in regards to hunger. So it's just a nice, great avenue to do that. So I love it. And you can go to the grocery store and pay $10 for a bottle of wine. That wine is not going to a charitable fund. It's not going to a charity of your choice or charity at all. This way you can order wine that you like, that go to a charitable fund. The good thing about being a preferred customer with One Hope Wine is that you don't have to order every month. You order when you want to. You just have to order 4 bottles of wine to get the discount on the bottle of wine as well as the shipping. So, and you write off on taxes. So just saying to you, if you love wine, why not get a wine that you love and you get it and order it whenever you want it. You can gift it to people. You can donate it to people. You can do any of these things and it's beneficial to you as well as your friends and family. 4 bottles of wine, and you also gain perk points to get discounts, or actually, well, it's not really free, but you get discounts on wine. So whenever you purchase wine, you get points, and their reward points equal to extra discounts on wine. So I'm just asking, if you love wine, definitely come on board. Let me get my Instagram. I gotta get my. And the bad thing about me is I'm so bad with remembering stuff. So I'm gonna give you my Instagram. But my Instagram is Tammie, it's TAMMIE underscore Renee underscore Green. So, or actually it's not Green, it's G. So Tammie underscore Renee underscore G. And you can, and I'll also put that in the comments as well. So that way you can know exactly where to get more information about One Hope, about me and what I'm trying to do in regards to bringing awareness to lupus. And you can get all that information. But bottom line is, if you enjoy wine, why not order a bottle that gives to a charitable fund and supports a cause for people that you may know that's important to them, and education on that. So I'm done. It's 4 bottles. You are a preferred member. You don't have to order every month. You order when you want to, but you have to order at least 4 bottles of wine. And then I also have a team. And if you want to join my team, you can definitely inbox me. And we're going to talk about wine. We're going to talk about impacting our community. We're going to talk about how to engage people. I do this. I am like on the social committee within my neighborhood, and I have wine tasting. And this allows people to come in together and talk about wine, talk about what's going on in their life, talk about what's going on in their community, and it's great. So you can do this any form or fashion. You can do those pop-up shops if they allow, you gotta talk to the people who actually established it, and talk to people about pop-up shops and talk about wine. If you are a wine lover, this is just a great thing to do. And we also have as well gift boxes or etching. I have a friend that is a realtor, and she has ordered customized bottles with her logo on it. And she distributes that, I mean, not distribute, I'm sorry. She presents that to people who have closed on homes. So that's really great as a realtor. If you want to give a nice gift to your clients, a bottle of champagne, a wine bottle with wine glasses, or champagne with the flute, it's a nice little add-on to them. So that's pretty much it. I love wine. It's just a nice swirl, sniff, and sip. That's how we end it. Swirl, sniff, and sip. How good is that? So you know what? Thank you so much for having me on again. You know, I try to be as engaging and encouraging as possible. One of the main things, I just thank you for having me come on. Things to remember is that social awareness, self-awareness, and just letting your guards down during this whole pandemic has come to me. So I really thank you guys for just having me on, Tammie and Renita, and just letting me on this platform just to say, you know what? We got to do some self-awareness. We got to do some social awareness. And we got to figure out how to bring people together. So with that being said, salut and cheers.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevates sense of well-being, supports muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, powerful liver support, energy, helps blood sugar regulation, superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.